You can only do so much for black people nowadays. You know, the thing about it is that the people that you want to focus on who want to see a change in this broken system are the people who acknowledge that the system that we live in today, which is systemic oppression, aka white supremacy, needs to be changed and needs to be changed with a system of justice. So those kind of people I'm talking to right now. Everybody else, just click off the video. Could care less. Okay, click off the video. That's the only people I'm focused on. Is the people who understand the system that we live in, of systemic oppression, aka white supremacy, and wants to see change, and willing to do anything they can to empower themselves and empower other people, like-minded people around you, to make those changes. All right. So that's what I want to talk about, family, is I meant to talk about the story a couple days back. I don't know what happened. I had it in my notes to talk about it, and I just got sidetracked. But race soldier Darren Wilson, who has a war chest for white supremacy as far as $1 million crowdfunding, okay, economic war chest raised by his white supremacist cohorts when he was under fire for murdering Michael Brown back in 2014. This man is a bona fide race soldier and lied and changed up his story. And now the truth comes out that this man, who basically demonized Michael Brown as being a super thug, a super nigger with super strength, tried to attack him. And of course, the classic, the classic saying, when you're classified as white and you see a black man who is in proximity of you, you feel in danger. You feel like your life is threatened. Therefore, I had to shoot. That kind of terminology. His life was in danger and he had to shoot. All of that shit that he said about Mike Brown was a lie. He did not reach for no damn gun. All right. There's video footage, and the video footage has been out for quite some time. But a recent documentary that came out shows Mike Brown not robbing the convenience store. How do you casually walk out of a convenience store and rob it? This is common sense, family. So I'm going to briefly talk about the story. The story that I got it from is from theroot.com. They break it down pretty thoroughly. Basically shout out to them, theroot.com. And it basically says everything you think you know about the death of Mike Brown is wrong. And the man who killed him admits it. So I'm going to talk about the story, family. Before I get into that, if you're watching me for the first time, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Chauncey, a.k.a. The Black Separatist. On this channel, I talk about counter racism. I also talk about issues that affect black people collectively as a group. And I offer my suggestions on how to replace this broken system of injustice, this broken system of racism, which is white supremacy, with a system of justice. So if you are new and you agree to that ideology, please subscribe to this channel. If you don't agree, subscribe anyway, because I need two things to happen: my view counts and my subscribers to go up, so my message can be widespread about replacing this broken system of injustice with a system of justice. So if you want to hate, watch, and troll, be my guest, because at the end of the day, those kinds of people are just view counts and statistics. All right, so enough with the promo. Let's get right into the story. So I got this story from theroot.com. And like I said, I meant to talk about this. Actually, this story broke Wednesday or Tuesday of this past week. I saw it. I retweeted it. I just did not, share my thoughts and commentary on it. So I'm a few days late, but better late than never. So basically, the story and talks about Darren Wilson, race soldier Darren Wilson, who basically admits and lies that, Mike Brown, who he murdered, did not reach for his gun, etc. I'm going to read some quotes from the share my screen real quick so you guys can see. I'm going to read some quotes from the story on theroot.com. It says, we disagree. It may be a mistake or a subject of interpretation to assume that Michael Brown did not reach for the gun based on then police officer Darren Wilson's admission that Brown never tried to remove Wilson's gun from the holster, but based on the definition of the word try, is definitely within reason. Okay, and here is the transcript. It says, Michael Brown never tried to remove your gun from your holster. Response, admitted. Never. Never. Okay, and Wesley Lara is tweets out that Wilson admits that Brown did not try to remove your gun from the holster. That is not same as admitting Brown never reached for a gun. Nowhere in this doc does Wilson address who initiated contact. Admits at some point he reached through window. Doesn't address timeline. All right. Also mentions Wilson's only concedes that he grabbed from Michael Brown's body and grabbed for Michael Brown's arm. It does not speak to what happened before this. Okay. And so it's a pretty detailed article. I'm not going to get, to the full details. Y'all can check out. I'll have the link in the description. I'm just going over a few key points about, this race soldier, Darren Wilson, basically openly admitting that he lied about the situation with Mike Brown. Right. And so, again, like I said, we live in a system of racism, white supremacy. So you cannot be surprised by this whatsoever. You can't be surprised by this whatsoever. Oh, check this out. I didn't see this part. You have made a racist remark while on duty as a police officer. Response, deny this phrase. I have repeated a racist remark made by someone else, but I have not made a racist remark against another individual while on duty as a police officer. You have used the word nigger to refer to an African American on at least one occasion. Admit it. You have heard a fellow officer at Ferguson Police Department use the word nigger to refer to an African American on at least one occasion. Admit it. All right. And so, yeah, so I just saw that. But back to my train of thought. What I wanted to mention was, and this has been talked about before. I've mentioned this before. Ferguson, the population of Ferguson is, it's a higher percentage of black people who live there. And then you have your local government running that particular city is white people. So, of course, that's a huge problem, right? You have a city, the population is mostly black. The local government, the administration there is white. Police department, mostly white, right? That is a huge problem. And so when you have a situation where you hire these suspected race soldiers, right, in your city, there really is no process. They'll hire extreme, neo-Nazi racists, and these are documented facts. There's a 2006 document, and I always reference this all the time, a 2006 document by the FBI that indicates that white supremacists have infiltrated the law enforcement department. Okay, these are facts. So there is no filter. There is no, hiring process at all. They just hire, anybody off the street to become a police officer. There really is no vetting process as far as from a psychological perspective. It's just not thorough enough. So this is what happens when you hire someone like this. This is your end result, family. And I mentioned to you before, you have a city that is mostly black, ran by an administration, a local government that is mostly white. Okay, that is a problem. All right. So, like I said, I'm not surprised by this story, family. Darren Wilson, or the Darren Wilsons of the world, there's many of them that are still working for a police department right now. And this is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of the police department or police officers in general, so-called police officers, if you want to say that, right? They're the largest gang, right, in the United States, they also have the strongest and most, I would say, the most potent no snitch policy that's out right now. Okay, you talk about black people not snitching. These damn police officers and these so-called good cops, they don't snitch on each other. There's such a huge code of silence. It's unbelievable. So good cops calling out bad cops, that's non-existent. It doesn't exist whatsoever. All right. And so that's what it is. So when you have a system of racism, white supremacy, and you have a history where the law enforcement department was built on catching black slaves, all right, slave catchers, this is your end result, right? This is your end result. So again, I'm not surprised by this story at all. And like I said, there's a documentary that was mentioned about this story, about the surveillance video of Mike Brown going into the convenience store. And I looked at it. Anybody with common sense can tell you that the man did not rob that convenience store. All right. The prosecutor also, I'm gonna play the video. The prosecutor who saw the that clip from the documentary that I talked about, and the documentary is called Strange Fruit, excuse me, and it debuted at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas. All right, so there's a video from CNN, and the attorney for Ferguson March says the filmmaker just wants 15 minutes of fame. Right, that's the prosecutor. Let me play the video real quick.
You see the whole transaction. You see that there was no deal. He's saying there was a deal. There was no deal. There was no pot left behind. There was no understanding. And they gave the pot back. And there was this argument. This get out of my store. We want none of this. He makes it sound like these guys, he said they had a relationship before. They had no relationship before. I think he may have been in the store one time before. He didn't live in the neighborhood. You see the whole.
All right, so family, I'm gonna wrap this up, and I got people calling me while recording a video. I'm gonna wrap this up, but yeah, like I said, I'm not surprised by this story at all, and it is what it is, family. You know, we live in a system of racism, white supremacy. And in order for you to understand and acknowledge that, you watching this video right now, you want to help replace this broken system of racism, white supremacy, aka injustice, with a system of justice. So stories like this should not surprise you. Do your due diligence and get more involved, like I said, in your local government, and understand that your police department, you better know the police chief, the captain, the lieutenant. You better know these police officers' first and last names. Get involved with your local government, your local city, your local municipality. Okay? That's one of the first steps. Get involved. Get hands-on with everybody in your local area to understand what's going on. All right? All right, family. So those are my quick thoughts on that. Make sure you leave your comments down below about this story. Like I said, I just briefly read through the story itself, but if you have more details, let me know down below in the comment section. All right, family, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, Chauncey, a.k.a. the Black Separatist, signing out. Peace.